2000 Chevy. I thought planes were supposed to be fast. Why are you still here? It's 2007 Chevy. Why do I keep saying so? Welcome back to another episode of My Legacy Garage. Late model edition. 2007 Chevy Silverado. I have no doubt that it'll run. It's only been 3-4 years since it's been off the road. So this is less of a will it run and more of a let's clean it up and see how nice we can make it and then sell it. That seems like a reasonable expectation. Want to take a look? This truck's been off the road since 2020, I believe, and it does have a couple minor rust issues, typical Chevy stuff. Rocker panels are rotted out of it. This cab corner is okay, the other one not so much. The interior, though, it's moldy and gross and full of spider webs and everything. But I think that we can clean that up. Here you can get a better look at this nasty rocker panel rust. Not sure what, if anything, we're going to do about that yet. It obviously needs a good cleaning. There you can see 2020. Bumper's got a little damage on it. We've got a hole busted through the tail light. We're getting a little bit of rust around the bed right there. And then here's the real rust. She's pretty rotten. Big holes. Big holes that you can see through. But that's really the only issue with it. Bottoms of the doors are good. So between the rust issues and the moldy, gross interior, that's what we need to overcome, is what I'm trying to say. If we can get that cleaned up, get it running, and possibly do something about the rust, I think that we can turn a profit on this thing. At least I hope so. As I mentioned earlier, 2007 Chevy Silverado. Slightly under 200,000 miles, don't really know for sure. Haven't powered it up to see the odometer. That's what the guy told me. I paid $500 for this truck as it sits. And guys, you can do this too. It was just sitting in somebody's driveway. I stopped, knocked on the door, and asked if they might want to sell it. And they were like, yeah, I'd really like to see it go away. And then they sold it to me for $500, which is a pretty good deal for honestly, not a terrible looking truck. A little bit of rust, but I mean, who really cares? Regular cab. True 8-foot bed, which is rare these days. Somebody's going to really want this for a work truck, I think. Anyway, let's get it off of the trailer, put a charger on it, see if we can revive that battery. I did notice it had a date of 3/21 on the battery, which he had said he put a new battery in it right before he parked it. Says he parked it because he bought a new truck. This one was running and driving. There was nothing really wrong with it, but he got a new truck and he just parked it, and then time kind of got away from it. We've all been there, right? Let's get her off of here. I don't currently have a helper here to assist with this process, so it does have brakes, which is weird for stuff that I bought. So I think the plan is going to be put the trailer up, I'll climb in it, pop it out of gear, and just off the trailer. What could go wrong? That went surprisingly well. I would really like to make this go vroom so I can move it around. So let's see if we can make any progress on that. Step one, see if there's any juice at all in this battery. I think it's missing a cover. Let's see what we've got here. DC volts. Let's see what we get for a reading here. Nothing. She is stone cold dead. I'd like to try and save this battery. It says 321 on it. I guess let's put a charger on it, see if we can take anything. We're gonna turn it on, give it a 2 amp charge, fault 2, which I think means bad battery. Bad battery connection, battery voltage too low to accept charge. I didn't know it could be too low to accept the charge, but apparently that's the case. Alright, new battery it is. It was worth trying. Let's check some fluids real quick. Belt looks alright. Antifreeze is good. Engine oil, slightly low, but not by much, half quart maybe. Transmission fluid, of course it's not running, so yeah, it says it's way over full. Brake fluid looks good. Power steering, also fine. Alright, let's go get a battery for it. We've got ourselves a shiny new battery here. Let's go ahead and get that installed, and hooked up, and secured, and all the things. And then, we'll see if this thing will run. Alright, we're good and secure. Okay, it should run now, right? Well, things are powering up. Tire monitor system is unhappy. The hood's open. Check engine light is on. We're almost out of fuel. 186,000 miles on it. Alright, let's see what happens. She lit right up. How about that? Good oil pressure. Looks to be charging. Does the HVAC and radio and stuff work? Let's see, we're in air conditioning mode right now. I just heard the compressor kick in. No way. Air conditioning even works? Come on. Oh, the radio doesn't work though. That's got to be like a blown fuse or something, right? Has to be. Alright, well, let's move some stuff around and see if this thing will actually move. Well, it runs, it moves, the windows work, air conditioning works. If we fix the radio, this would be a good truck. Let's go for a ride. Windshield's pretty crap. Shifted into second gear, brakes work. I like it. Other than a little bit of lifter tap when we first started it, there's no noises. No noises now. It's quieted down. Sounds good. Boots tore up on the steering shaft. It runs. That's the important part. I dig it. Speaking of weird noises, what is that? That's got to be the fuel pump, right? Has to be. Well, as long as it works, I'm happy. I think it's high time we give this thing a stage 1 cleaning. As you can see, I've been doing some pressure washing, so since it's out, let's clean the truck off, give it just a quick bath. We're not going to do the fine detailing work on this go round, like the bed's still full of leaves, whatever. I just want to get the worst of the grime off. Be nice to be able to see out the windows, you know, stuff like that. So let's get to it, see how it turns out. pretty good. Not bad for just a quick power washing. Really doesn't look that bad. There's a little bit of hidden body damage under that grime. Got a dent there, and I hadn't noticed this grill in the headlight and a little ding right there. Not too worried about that. That's not terrible. The windshield's shattered. I did know that. But all in all, it cleaned up pretty good. I can get down with that. I reckon that'll about do it for today anyway. I'll do a little more detailed cleaning on it later, maybe next weekend when I have time. Day's about over now. We'll pop the hood, we'll clean the engine bay all out, we'll clean the bed out, and we'll start on that interior and see what we can do with that. In the meantime, I'm going to look up rocker panels and cab corners and see how difficult that's going to be, if I'm even going to tackle it. Probably not for a truck like this. It's borderline, but we'll see. We'll see how much it's going to cost and how much of a pain it is, and we'll go from there. We'll see you next time. Good evening. It's Monday after work. What better thing could I think of to do but clean out a really nasty truck? Oh look, we're not going to clean it out. I just wanted to try some of this new cleaner I got and see how it did. You tell me, what do you think? I think this looks quite good, considering that the rest of the truck looks like that. We're going to give it a shot on this door and see what it can do, because this is really nasty. This is what we're using. Good old Zep mold stain and mildew stain. I mean, that's what we got. Let's see what it does. Let's let that chew on that for a little bit, and then we'll try scrubbing it off. It's been a couple minutes here. Let's scrub and see what happens. There we are. Is it 1000% ungrossified? No. There's still a little funky here. I'm not sure if we can get that off or not. Maybe we'll give her another shot and see what happens with it, but it's a whole lot better than it was. I'm going to go ahead and clean the glass and do the outside of the door while we soak that some more. And then we'll see what we get from there. I'm going to say that is expired. There we are. That cleaned up pretty good. Direct comparison to where it's not done to where it is done. We have returned the next evening. It's now Tuesday evening, and I decided the only way to truly clean this out is to remove the seats and the center console. So that's what we have been working on. We'll get it all torn apart, cleaned out, vacuumed up, and then we're probably gonna have to switch to the carpet scrubber, because some of this is pretty gross. Thought you'd all enjoy the look. This side, not any better. I mean, dirt-wise, I guess it's a little bit better. It's not quite as crusty, I guess, but it's still in need of a pretty serious cleaning. We are back at it again, but we've upgraded our position in life to being in the garage. Longtime viewers may recognize the old CJ here with the locked up motor. It's in the garage, protected from the elements. I'll get to it someday. For now, it's great storage. But what we're really here for is right in front of me here. We've got her in the garage. Well, sort of. I mean, it's half sticking out, but this is the room I have to work with, and I wanted to do this in here, so this is where we're at. We've got, of course, the trusty 5-gallon bucket seat to drive it around. And this is what we're going to try and fix. What I'm doing right now is cleaning all the loose rust out and using a grinder to take this paper thin edge off so that we've got something meaty there. I'm not really sure how this is going to turn out, but it's worth trying, especially on a $500 truck that we just want to kind of polish up a little bit. We'll give it a shot, see what happens. In the meantime, let's get back to it. Here's the deal, y'all. I was gonna just sort of half fix that with some mesh patches and Bondo, and I can't bring myself to do it, so I just ordered rocker panels for the truck. Issue is they won't be here for about a week, so we're a little stuck for now, which is unfortunate. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up, get the truck out of the garage, put everything back the way it belongs, and when I get parts, we'll come back and work on it again, because there certainly isn't any sense in cleaning the inside all up just to destroy it doing body work. There is a new windshield coming. I'm getting a new windshield put in it in a couple of days, so that'll be done before we do the rocker panels, which is unfortunate, but it can be cleaned, right?
Anyway, we'll see you when we get parts. Welcome back. It has been a minute. For you guys, literally a split second. In reality, like 4 or 5 months. It's September now. I don't even remember when I started this project. At any rate, I decided I did not want to record putting the rocker panels in it because I'm not very good at it. It is done. I'm going to show you the results, and you will see pretty quickly why I didn't want to record actually doing it. Now, mind you, it is much better than it would have been with the mesh patches and, you know, foam, however people fix it. It is metal, it is welded in, and you know, it's better than it was, which was the idea. Let's take a look.
There it is in all its glory. Color match paint and all that. I mean, it's a lot better than the giant rust holes that were down there. I did the driver's side too, and I also vacuumed it all out and wiped it down and cleaned it after the body work, and it's looking, you know, pretty decent. I'm going to go ahead and shampoo this carpet because it still smells kind of funky in here and it could use some more cleaning. But I think for the most part, it's not far from being done. If we can get this cleaned up, we'll be finished. I'm going to go ahead and get the shampoo out. We'll get this scrubbed up, and then we'll tackle the seats, which are going to be a whole nother affair. They've become, you know, buried over time. Anyway, let's get it done. Is it perfect? No. It's still got some grossness. But is it much, much better? Yes. I'm not sure what all these spots are. It looks like there was like a bleach explosion in here or something. I'm not really sure. I'm going to go do the other side and then we'll be back. Here we are. This side also much, much better, but again, not perfect. I wasn't primarily concerned so much about the little specks of dirt. I don't care about that. It's the smell. I'm trying to get the smell out of this thing. And it doesn't smell terrible in here now, so hopefully this will do the trick. Next up, the seats. Oh boy. Let's see what we can do with that. Now the next challenge begins. We've got to try and get this cleaned up enough to be presentable and go back in there. I haven't even cleaned the console out yet. I'm not sure what's going to go on there. I think that before I worry too much about the upholstery side of things, I'm going to try and clean up some of these hard surfaces and see how they turn out. Not really sure what the best way to do that is, but as grimy as this is, I think super clean's the answer. So let's find out. Now a bit of light scrubbing. Well, that worked out pretty well so far. I think it's time for a lunch break. I got to run some errands, and then we'll get back on finishing these seats up, and overnight everything can dry, and hopefully tomorrow it all goes back in the truck. We'll be back in a couple minutes. Time to go run some errands. This one isn't a garage queen. She gets driven, even if it's just to go do some errands occasionally. It's at least once a week it gets driven, I'd say. Don't let them sit in the garage, guys. Drive them. That's what they're for. Been back from running errands for a little bit now, and I went ahead and finished up the console and put it back in the truck. So let's go take a look and see how that turned out. I think it looks, you know, not bad. That's night and day to what it was. I think we get the seats cleaned up, put everything back together, and as a whole, when you stand back and look at it, it'll be, you know, not bad. Step one is going to be to vacuum this crud off of it. I've never tried super clean on upholstery before, but it stands to reason that it should loosen up this grime that you could then clean it. So let's give it a shot and see what happens. That could have gone better. It cleaned up. I mean, it's better than it was, and it certainly smells better, but these stains are not coming out no matter what I do to it. So I think that leaves us with a seat cover option, which I don't have. I'll have to go get some. I need to get some windshield wipers anyway, so maybe I will run and do that after I clean that seat so that they can both dry, probably overnight. And then we'll put covers on them tomorrow and put them back in the truck. While the driver's side pre-treats, let's see what we can do about cleaning this up a little bit. Shouldn't be too hard to just kind of spritz it down and maybe to give it a quick scrub and rinse it off, right? There, that looks much better. Once that dries, we'll spray a little clear coat on everything. I'll make it all shiny in there. We'll put the engine cover back on. Be good as new. I reckon that's as good as it gets. It was just too far gone. We can still wipe down the hard surfaces. They'll clean up a lot better than, this disgustingness here. That'll clean up. But the actual seat itself, not so much. We are out of the clean water, and the dirty water looks pretty nasty. Oh, that's disgusting. That looks like motor oil. It's so gross. Let's see here. That is disgusting. I mean, if nothing else, we got the dirt out of it.
We have successfully made it to the next day. And I went and got some seat covers. I put one on already. It looks pretty good. Let me show you what we got here, and then we'll get these seats slapped back in this truck.
Well, there it is. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not perfect, but it's a whole lot better than that. I'll go ahead and get this one put on this seat, and then we'll get them put back in the truck.
Take the headrest cover off and get rid of its doofy plastic thing. And save that for later. This thing right side up and fit it over top of the seat. There's a little hole here for the headrest to go through. Get that popped through there. And then we'll go ahead and pull this down over here and try to keep it on here, kind of straight and uniform. You don't want it tugged to one way, one side or the other. I'm going to go around here. Make sure this is pulled down good and snug. And then there's a little Velcro piece in here that you pull the excess through to kind of hold that a little more taut. They wear in after a little while too. Alright, now the bottom. The easiest way I've found to do the bottom is just kind of tip it back. You've got one here that's like Velcro, and then another one that clips. So you got to unclip that, open it up, pull this all around the fronts like so, get her tucked in the back, pulled down over everything. Take your clippy one and stick it down through. It's a snug fit to get it down through between these plastic trim pieces and everything, but it is doable, I promise. Whoops. Oh, that broke. Cool. Plan B is we will tuck it down in the plastic so that it stays there. And this side, we will just take this under here like so. And then we will still clip this one in, and we'll just tie it down here to help hold it in. This front one, you just kind of make sure it gets tucked in underneath, and that'll do it. Once they get sat in a little bit, they tend to work a little bit better.
Progress has been made. The interior is basically back together, minus a couple minor pieces, which I'll show you back here. We got a couple little pieces to clean up and put back in there yet, and the floor mats, and then that'll be that. So I'm going to take care of that real fast, and then we'll be right back. There we go. All done. How about that? You could use a bath, but oh, I need to put wipers on it still too. Forgot about that. It's pretty decent though. It's not a bad truck. It turned out pretty good. I did, however, find it's got an oil pressure sensor problem that just started. Probably going to have to put a new oil pressure sensor in it, which is Pretty typical for these trucks. And then wipers, and it should be ready to go for sale.
I'll fix those last couple little things. Might record it, might not. I don't know. It depends how much time I have when I tackle it. And then I'll put it up for sale. And I'll wait to put this video out till after the truck is sold, because I'm going to tally up what I spent on it, what we sold it for, what the profit was, how much time was in it, what we made per hour. I'm a numbers nerd. It is what it is. Once it's all fixed and sold, we'll be back and we'll do a wrap up on it. And that'll be that. Hopefully it sells quickly for good money. We'll see. Magic. It is suddenly much colder outside now. The truck is sold. I did end up doing 2 more things to it that I did not record. One was replacing the oil pressure sensor because it was reading 0 and nobody was going to want to buy a truck that said it had 0 oil pressure. And the other thing was the lock cylinder. Those trucks are famous for the keys sticking and you can't start the truck. And that was the case with that one. So I did go ahead and swap that out and put a new one of those in. So I have factored those into all the prices over here. And we're going to take a look at that and see how we did.
As you can see, it is full-blown winter now. We're going to close that.
Here is the list of all the money that I spent on the truck, including the purchase price. And as you can see, things rack up quickly. Things are not cheap nowadays. Even simple things like a battery, it's $200. Either way, we ended up with $1,740.44 in it. As near as I can remember. I might have missed a couple little small things, but I think that's pretty much it. I did most of the shopping in batches and I had the receipts, so that makes sense. I have about 38 hours of work into the truck, all told, spread out through like the entire summer, because that's how I roll. And now the truck is sold quite a while ago now, but I remember how much I got for it. So we got $3,600 for the truck. And if we take the 1,744 away from that, we end up with $1,859.56 in profit. Now, if we divide that by 38, that'll tell us how much money per hour we made, which is $48.94 an hour. That's a pretty good gig if you can find it. Now, a few notes. It is a lot of work to go through a vehicle like that and fix it up. And there's no guarantees. Sometimes you might find out it has a bad motor or the transmission slips or something like that. And then this is all a whole different ball game. Next thing you know, it costs you more than the truck is worth to fix it and you just part it out. Luckily, that was not the case this time. I would like to note, however, the fellow that bought it tried to drive it pretty far home, and I think something locked up in the rear end on him. I'm not sure. I told him I was sorry. I had originally been asking $4,500 for the truck. I already came down to $3,600 on it, and I think he did okay, even if he's got to put a rear end in it. It is a pretty decent truck, and it's not perfect, but man, it turned out okay. And the price of a new truck is what, $50,000 for a basic single cab truck? That's probably pretty accurate. Anyway, there's the numbers as promised. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please go down there and hit the like button. If you really liked it, go down there and hit the subscribe button. Helps the channel out. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.